Hey, it's Alex Allman with a relationship tip for you today. A lot of people will tell you that the truth is not always the best policy. Sometimes a little white lie is preferable to a giant fight. Let's face it, for most of us, telling the truth would be a little bit difficult because there's some really weird shit that goes on in our heads, and we don't always want our lover to know everything that goes on in our heads. There's a lot of things that go by in our lives that if we told the truth about, our partner might be a little bit upset. One of the reasons that it's so hard for us to tell the truth is bad training in our society, in our culture. Everybody lies, and it seems very, very acceptable. Certainly no teenager is expected to tell their parent the truth. The other reason that it's so unexpected and why it's so hard is because we lie to ourselves. And if we lie to ourselves with great consistency, and humans do, it's difficult to tease out where our self-lie ends and the truth begins. A guy named Brad Blanton wrote a book called Radical Honesty, and I'm a fan, and I think you ought to try picking it up and reading it. That's Brad Blanton, Radical Honesty. And the question is, why do it? Why be radically honest? Why tell the truth about everything? It's possible that telling the truth all the time could be the very end of your relationship. It could be dangerous to the relationship. But the question is, if telling the truth is dangerous to your relationship, is it the relationship that you want? And again, no judgments here. The answer could be yes. You could have a lot of reasons for staying in your relationship that revolve around logistics, money, children, and many other factors, fear of loneliness. But if you're really in it for love, if you're in it for a great relationship and you're unwilling to settle for less, then I think you ought to experiment with the possibility of radical honesty, of always telling the truth. Because when you stop telling lies, when you really make an obsession over figuring out what's really true for you, when you really work to figure out where you're lying to yourself, and then you remain truthful to your partner, a couple of things happen. One is truth becomes more of a habit for you. You actually get better at it, and you become more able to discern truth to yourself. You actually will lie to yourself less as you become rigorous about not lying to your partner. You will build something that most relationships don't have. It's a little thing that I like to call real trust versus we just say we trust each other. Real trust is if you always tell the truth about very, very difficult subjects like, yeah, the truth is I am really attracted to your sister. Or, yeah, honey, it's true. You know, I was having this conversation with your boss and I have to admit, I flirted with him a little bit. Things like that most people lie about if you tell the truth about with great consistency, especially the really difficult ones, especially the ones where you fear that your partner will be disappointed. What happens is they begin to really trust you on a new level, a totally new level, a level in which most couples don't share trust, and something magical begins to happen in that space of trust, a relationship that's different from what most people get to experience, and one that I recommend you try in this lifetime. There's another reason why we don't tell the truth, and that reason for not telling the truth is one of the most powerful reasons why we should, and it's fear of rejection. We're afraid that if we did tell the truth to our lover or our husband or our wife, that they might reject us, that if we really told them about the really weird shit going on in our head, they may go, oh, God, you're creepy, that's weird, I can't believe you feel that way. And they might get angry with us, they might call us names, and it could even be potentially humiliating. They may just say, well, somebody that thinks like that isn't somebody that I want to be with. And so you were taking an enormous leap of faith. We're taking a risk when we tell the truth by risking our fear of rejection. But something miraculous usually happens in this space, particularly if you're really in love with the person you're talking to. If this is a real relationship and not just one of convenience, you will find, amazingly, always, every single time, that your partner is going to accept you for who you really are and not the fiction of carefully constructed lies that you've been telling for years and years and years, or even hours or weeks if you've only started dating. The reality is most people lie most of the time, and it's expected. And when you step out of that space, not only do you earn this incredible trust, this incredible integrity within the relationship, but you will experience, and for many people, perhaps for the very first time, what it means to be accepted for who you really are. A person who maybe even you can't accept completely. And that smells a lot like love. When you begin to be rigorous about always telling the truth, accepting nothing less than the truth, you will begin to experience your relationship not as a cage or an obligation, but as freedom, not something to be worked upon, but as a place to play within, something to play inside of that fuels your dreams, your growth, and your highest enjoyment. This is Alex Allman with Revolutionary Sex. I hope you enjoyed today's tip. I'd love to hear your comments about it. Do you tell the truth? Are you getting good at this in your relationship, or is it just impossible to even consider? This is an aspect of relating that I think is very, very deeply important, and I'd like to know what your perspective is on it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and we'll see you again next Friday.